everybody, me, Irina Kutsenko, and Stars About Stars, we are greeting you today. The first astrology-based matchmaking podcast for love and career seekers. And today we have a very beautiful soul and mind from New York City that never sleeps. And these people, they know how to make it happen. So we are talking today to ISABELLE RESNIK about mixed religion and companionship. Hey, Isabel.
Hi, Irina. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to meet you finally after 2 months of typing and texting to each other.
I know, and I've heard so much about you. My parents love you.
Oh my God, you have a wonderful family. So thank you for joining Stars About Stars. You know, guests like you, it's always an honor.
Oh, it's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, especially when we are talking about New York, especially we are talking about smart girls, self-made, and you know, young generation. We want to hear what you're really looking for in this country of possibilities. So, are you ready for 12 zodiac questions? That is our astrological journey for today.
Perfect. I can't
Great.
wait.
So your life path number is 6. That is romantic relationship, family and home are the foundations for success. How do you imagine your future husband at all?
Ooh, okay. I've written this down actually because I think that sometimes when you write things down, you really bring it into the world. And it's also easier for you when you meet someone. Okay, does this person compare to what I want, what I know I really want? Somebody who is, first of all, empathetic, kind, cares about people he doesn't know, you know, cares about the world. Somebody really intelligent, funny, not funny, like it doesn't matter if he's a comedian, but we laugh with each other a lot. Somebody who's very reassuring. I need words of affirmation. So somebody who tells me, oh, you look beautiful today, you know, or I think you're so smart, or that was such a beautiful toast that you gave at your family dinner. I'm so proud of you, or I'm so in awe of you. So those kinds of things. And, you know, overall somebody who is ambitious, supportive of me, I'm supportive of them. True partnership, that's what I look for.
That's what you have. Your parents have actually,
Yes.
you know, they're always together, thank God. So you got a great example. You mentioned that you want somebody who is caring not only about you and family and relatives, but about other people whom he doesn't even know. That's a very special feature, I would tell you. It's a philanthropical mind. Do you see yourself in future in charity activity at all?
Absolutely. When I was younger, I wanted to pursue human rights law. And human rights and social issues are something that I'm really, really passionate about. And I try to do philanthropic work with my job right now. But as I continue to grow and perhaps become an entrepreneur myself, philanthropy will be a huge part of what I do.
You have a very strong Martian part, even being very feminine by your look and your behavior and your education. Mars gives a lot of activity about work. You just mentioned that you have your career making period. Where do you work? Tell us more about that part of your life.
I work for Google.
Wow, just Google it.
Yes, I'm sure you've heard of that company. And I'm a writer, so I do internal executive communications, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of what we focus on is the internal culture of our company, making sure that the employees are happy and feel proud to work for this company.
As an advanced mind, what is your attitude to AI? Now, you know, you have an opportunity to write letter of separation to your boyfriend. Everything is possible. Do you consider it to be very real?
I think it's a really cool opportunity. AI, this is what somebody told me something interesting. When Excel, you know, spreadsheets came out, a lot of accountants were nervous and they said, this is going to take away my job, but really it made their jobs more efficient and they were able to do more high value things. So I do think that there's a lot of responsibility that comes with AI and we do have to be careful about how far we take it. But for a writer like me, sometimes I'm like looking for a word. I'm like, what word is a good synonym of this? And I ask AI and it gives me a bunch of things and I didn't have to spend 30 minutes looking through thesaurus and, you know, dictionaries and things like that. So I think it can be a real complement to your work. It doesn't have to replace your work.
Absolutely. It would never, ever replace human and our soul, of course. Thank you so much. You just gave me, like, you know, nice tips and ideas for my writing, because I'm an author too, so you can understand what is this creative mind. So, According to your job and according to the birth chart reading, they say, stars, that you have very good organizational skills. And actually, no matter what, you would always achieve your goal. What is your life goal and your challenge for 2023?
My life goal for career or for
anything, whatever you see.
I see myself living in New York City.
Oh.
I'm probably an author, maybe a blogger, memoirist, something like that, where I have a big community of people who I can connect with and communicate. One of the things I really like is commiseration. We all go through things personally. It's very specific to us, but we all can find common themes that relate to one another. I think that that's the beauty of sharing your story. So with that, I'm living in New York in a beautiful apartment with my partner, and maybe we have kids, maybe we don't, but a lot of what we do is connecting with other people and using our privilege to help others, especially in the New York area, but really trying to make a global impact where we can.
That's great. Thank you. Do you have any favorite book right now that you could recommend to the others to read?
Definitely. Glennon Doyle is an amazing memoirist. She's an inspiration for a lot of my writing. And her book, Untamed, is fantastic. Just a quick summary. It's for all people, but for herself, she realized one day in the middle of her marriage that she was staying in a relationship that did not serve her because of her children. And she said, she met a woman, Abby Wambach, you might have heard of her. She's a famous soccer player. And she said, if I go be with the love of my life, I'm going to ruin my kids' lives. And she realized, no, if I stay in a relationship where I am miserable and I'm suffering, that's going to show my kids that self-sacrifice is more important than my own happiness. So she decided to, turn her whole life upside down. And now her kids see, my mom is brave and she can do difficult things like choose herself, and it's all going to be okay. So I do think that is one of the best books you can read. It's called Untamed.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Actually, I speak a lot on my podcast about relationships and challenging questions, and couples are staying together for ages, suffering inside. Two parts always, you understand. Truth is always in the middle, and being unhappy for their kids. So actually think that you raised up being a happy kid in your happy family. Thank God, it's a great thing to be. Thank you for your advice. Isabel, your personal year corresponds to the number 5. That gives you a lot of change and liberation. So you have a very free spirit, probably. And you were raised up by Catholic mother and Jewish father. What is your free choice of religion?
Oh, this is a good question.
Thank you.
I really love that my parents said, do whatever you want. You can decide. I didn't go to Catholic, Sunday school. I didn't go to Hebrew school. I didn't have an official bat mitzvah, no communion, things like that. What I did have was a lot of traditions and cultures that I participate in. We celebrated Passover and Rosh Hashanah. We celebrated Easter and Christmas and Hanukkah. And through all of this, I really got to see through the lens of these two religions what's at the core of it, which I think is tradition and culture and family, but also spirituality. And that's really what I would say, that I don't follow a religion, but I am spiritual in the sense that I believe that this intangible power that some people might call God, some people may think it's many, many gods. I think it's real. I think it's an energy. I think it's universal. And I think that it can really help lead us on a path that we're perhaps, I believe in free will, but on the path that best serves our highest good. So, yeah. Thank you so much.
Do you have any preference for the nationality or mentality of your future husband?
I don't. Sometimes, so because my father's Jewish, yep, and I do have a strong connection to the Jewish community, the hardships that they've been through, particularly in relationship to the Holocaust and a lot of anti-Semitic violence that's happening right now. So if my partner was Jewish, I think it would be great, because then our kids would be raised Jewish, and not because I want them to necessarily have a bar mitzvah, but I want them to know where they came from and how their lineage and how important that is to stay true to it. However, I do believe that no matter who I marry, that part of me, that Jewish heritage, not the religion, but the heritage, will be translated to how I raise children. So at the end of the day, my mom married a Jewish man, my dad married a Catholic woman. Both of their cultures have been so strong in our lives, so I don't really think it matters what the background of the person you marry.
I really appreciate your answer because there are so many nationalities, especially here in country number one, that is United States. And actually, usually it's a big question because people try to convert each other, to push. And usually, as I know, through Jewish tradition, if you want to convert, you have to do it because of God, because of Hashem. You don't have to do it because your boyfriend is Jewish or your future husband or your kids probably would be Jewish. And it's never enough to convert. It's such a huge process. Depends. You can do it in two ways. So it's great that you choose personality and soul, first of all. You choose love, actually. And all the rest, it's like organizational, down-to-earth process, how maybe to bring tradition to your life in the best way. Thank you so much. It's for those who are really, having this path of separation or they don't know how to live each other. First of all, I think God created all those religions to discover unconditional love. Because from one side, it's a barrier. From the other side, would you fall in love with a person from different mentality, religion, or nationality and still love him or her fully? Like as any God in any religion would promise you in any Bible or other like sacral book. Thank you so much. So your ascendant is in Pisces. It's your second sign, and it's how society, how people see you. It's different, from your real zodiac. So actually people see you as a dreamer, as a very sensitive personality. Tell me, please, what is a feature, trait that you are proud about yourself?
I am very proud of my empathy. And it's funny that you mentioned sensitivity because that is something that I've been characterized as my whole life. Very emotional, very sensitive. Oh, Isabelle, she's going to cry, please stop crying, this kind of thing. But I think that people who are very sensitive creatures have a sort of, this is going to sound weird, but a superpower in a sense. They're really attuned to other people's emotions. And this has helped me in my life. I grew up in a half Russian household, for example. Russian men, big personalities, they have a lot of, they have a lot to say, a lot of needs, and sometimes it brings about conflict. And because of my sensitivity, I'm able to navigate that very well. I'm able to see through, maybe, for example, if somebody starts getting angry, I'm able to see that perhaps there's frustration or sadness behind that anger and really go to their soul and see what's missing there or what's disrupting them. And, I think because I'm a communicator, I'm a writer, I think it's helped a lot because I think whether I'm speaking to you personally, face to face, or I'm writing to a group of people that through work, I'm able to understand what they need personally and target that through my high sensitivity.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, jumping over, you have strong aspects of psychological work. Have you ever thought about that side of you?
Yeah, I had thought about that. I'm not a school person, so I don't think I could go and get my PhD or anything. I'm really about, I think I thrive more in a career setting than an academic setting. But it's funny because a lot of the people that I've known throughout my life, friends, et cetera, have said that I could be a really good therapist. They come to me a lot, which is really flattering.
You have Moon square Saturn that gives you opportunity and the talent to hide your feelings. Would you do a first step to connect with any man? I don't know, on the party, in the bar, in the street. Are you that type of woman that can be strong enough? Okay, I will make a first move.
Oh yes, this is something that's up for debate a lot because I don't want to wait for a guy to come up to me. If I see somebody that I like or I'm attracted to, this is 2023. Who's to say that I can't go up to him? I can't make a first move, maybe even buy him a drink, right? And I will say, I think it's maybe turned some people off, But I don't think I want to be with a person who's turned off by a strong woman or a straightforward woman, you know? So yeah, I do that a lot. And then I think sometimes I need to allow, it's a balance, right? Sometimes I need to take a step back and allow them to treat me or approach me.
I think that's some kind of cool that young generation can do it. You know, we are not living in those frames anymore of social opinion, what our parents or friends or relatives think about us. We can text first, we can do any kind of move in all these matchmaking applications, you know, and it's funny because actually tradition about how women and men are getting together, it changed a little bit. It became more free, more liberated. So, and I wanted to ask you one more thing, because you mentioned about self-made woman that you are, and you build yourself up by yourself, and you're living in New York, very ambitious city, and you want to stay there. What is your attitude to feminism at all? Do you take it like a good side, or you think that it's something that is fighting?
Feminism?
Yeah.
I'm a feminist. I think that word comes with a lot of baggage for some people. They hear that you're a feminist and they assume who you are, what you believe in. Personally, I believe that it is all about equality, not equality, because I understand that men and women are different, but reaching a level of equity. I do believe that men and women need to be treated equally in a workplace environment, for example. And I also believe that I think a lot of people who resist feminism want traditional ways of dating, for example. Mm-hmm. I dated a guy who was pretty resistant to feminism. He was really insistent on paying for all of our dates, paying for all of our meals. But then that came with a little bit of, he had traits where he didn't like how independent I was. So hold on.
He wanted you to be like a housewife in future, something dependable on him, always be in need of him, and so on.
So that's exactly my point. So I think it's great if a man wants to step forward and, you know, treat a woman to dates and things like that. And I understand that. For me, I have to take a car to a date in New York City.
Yeah.
I can't take the subway at night because it's not safe for me.
Absolutely.
I also have a makeup and hair routine that takes me a lot longer before I go out. Skincare, it's expensive to be a woman in this day and age. So being treated to dinner or drinks is really nice. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that at all. However, I do think that there is a level of dominance that comes with somebody being taken care of financially. And my feminism says that I want to be financially independent. I want to never rely on a man for my livelihood, because I need, if we look at the past in history when women weren't able to open their own credit cards, take out mortgages or home loans, they were stuck with a man who was perhaps abusive, perhaps not the love of their life. And so I think that finances come with freedom. And that's what I mean when I say I'm a feminist. I want to be able to have that autonomy myself.
You have greatly downloaded from astrological point of view house of religion, philosophy, higher education, traveling, and, psychology as well. Tell me, please, from political point of view, would you ever meet and date the guy who has opposite political visions?
So the last guy I dated we were not aligned politically.
Yep.
The thing that I find important is often away from the ballot box. It's about how you care. Remember when I said having empathy and care for people who are not
absolutely.
You? I care about people who have struggles that I don't. So for example, I'm a straight woman. I align myself to the gender that I was born with. My mother's Hispanic, but I look white, so I have a lot of privilege in this life. I understand that I got a great education, I have a great job. I don't come with a lot of suffering. There are people in this world who are born into a life where they will suffer more. And there are people who don't want to give them who don't even want to accept their identities, much less give them the tools to perhaps rise to the level that I was born 15 feet ahead of, the person who was next door to me at the hospital. So I think that when it comes to politics, if you're going to vote for issues that push down or tamper or stifle somebody's freedom of expression, freedom of identity, their ability to progress and advance in the world the way that the rest of us do, I have an issue with that. Other things, you know what I mean? Like I think that we're in a very difficult political climate right now. I'm never going to say, no, I'm not going to date somebody who votes a certain way. Yep. We have to talk about issue by issue what really matters to us. And if those values don't align, then that's okay. You go date somebody else. I'll date somebody else.
Yeah. Thank you for this position. So you have Jupiter square Saturn that creates some stress aspect and gives you an opportunity to be a very challenging person. Let's say, I want to change country of living. I want to go and travel. I want to see something else. I want to change my color of hair or whatever. You know, something that you wake up and you wake next day and say, okay, I'm going to do it. Do you have any kind of thing or dream or challenge that you would go for one time in your life, or what is forbidden inside yourself?
Yeah, I would love to move to Europe. And it's funny because I'm so tied to New York.
But not Israel, Europe.
Yeah, I would say like an English-speaking country. So maybe like London, for
Yeah.
example.
Oh, London.
Where I can travel all around Europe. I don't have to cross the Atlantic Ocean. And I say, you know, if I'm still single in 2-3 years, I'll do it. Why not? There's nothing holding me back.
Or maybe I wish you to find love and go travel the world with your love.
That's
going to be cool. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty ideal.
Okay, so we talked about politics, about feministic position, and tell me my final question that is very philosophical, because you have Uranus, planet of spontaneous movements and actually, you know, very innovative ideas in your house of spirituality. So that gives you immense originality and intense creativity and very innovative inspirations. If you had a choice to change something on this planet with a magic stick, what would be that?
If I could change something on this planet, I think...
Or maybe just to invent something very innovative, very reasonable.
That's a really tough question. My first thought always goes to... I would make it so that... Okay, wait, sorry. Just to back up. This is more like... is this more like a physical, tangible thing, or maybe an idea-based thing?
It could be, you can even mention, you know, the industry. Let's say you would love to change something in the fields of family therapy or marriage questions or gender question, or I don't know, something like innovation. You think that nowadays maybe people are missing something. I don't want to name it actually, but maybe some kind of industry that is suffering without any kind of innovation or lore. You know, something very new, very modern, that's going to help this society nowadays.
That is a great question. I think, and I don't want to speak on this from an expert perspective, COVID-19 pandemic really revealed a lot about the broken or imperfect systems in healthcare that we have. And I really think that if we could really be open to change with that and totally overhaul the current system that is causing, for example, a lot of people to get delays in care and causing premature death that way. That's just one example. Or eliminating inherent bias when treating certain patients.
That's a great answer, I would tell you.
I'll give you just a quick example. Patients who are in larger bodies, maybe you would call them obese. A lot of times there's a delay in care for them because the doctor assumes that first they need to lose weight before they can treat them properly. And that's where a majority, I don't want to say a majority, a large number of, remember the swine flu? A large number of swine flu deaths came from that because patients were not being cared for quickly enough because doctors assumed that, oh, you're sick because you're fat. So that's just one of those things. I really want to... Inherent bias, if we're talking on a global level, I think inherent bias is something that we need to dismantle, and we need to understand that our perspectives, where we come from, should not dictate the way that we treat other people or the way that we allow them to live a free life in this world.
Isabelle, thank you so much for your beauty, for your honesty, for your very creative and, you know, mind focused on health, mental health, family values, good, quality, ambitious, and doing something besides recreating your life and family life, something for this society. You have very philanthropical minds, and I wish you really to find the man. And I know that you're a great author and you're a fantastic reader. So I wish you to read lovely message from a lovely soul who's gonna fall in love with you and gonna become your future date, boyfriend, good support, emotional, physical, mental, your part of life, your heart, and your future husband, of course.
Thank you so much.
Tell us, please, where we can find you, social media.
Okay, wait. I have to triple check what my social media is. So it's IZ_RES.
Beautiful. So that's how we can find you in Instagram, correct?
That's Instagram, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Isabelle, for this lovely conversation. Have a great rest of the day. And you can find us, the Stars About Stars, as well in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and it's going to be always Stars About Stars, and as well TikTok and www.starsaboutsstars.com, our official website. And please listen to our podcast. You will never regret, because it's all about love, it's all about business, it's all about relationship and great values. Stars About Stars in Apple Podcast and Spotify. With love, Irene.